recovering as of now. But let's get on board Rohit Srivastava, who's the founder of Strike Money Analytics and India Charts, joining us now. Hi Rohit, thank you so much for joining us. Rohit, tell us, how do you see the market shaping up right now? We managed to breach the 24,000 psychological levels today. Also, we were up, 20 above 22, 24 to 300, but then the drawdown, and then we are recovering yet again. How do you see? What are the levels that you're watching out for on the Nifty? Nifty Bank also. Nifty Bank is seeing sharper cuts right now. But what are the levels to watch out for both on Nifty and Nifty Bank?
Let's put context to this recovery. First of all, the worst should be considered as over in the panic sell-off that we saw on 7th of April. We've now broken past most of the falling trend lines since there, which will now become support levels. And having said that, then the first meaningful level that we actually go to is a 61% retracement of the entire fall. So that comes in at around 24,563. I think that's the objective with which we are really working. Still have another 200-300 points upside to get there. On the downside, we broke past the last trend line support at around 23,600. So that becomes the trailing support on the way lower. But increasing, I mean, that will slowly keep moving up also. But that's what we are looking at immediately. Now, once we do get past maybe 24,600, 24,700, there are chances to then build a case for 25,300. So that would be the next possibility that we will try to consider. But at this point of time, we would want to see whether 24,600 ends up holding the market from, continuing further or not in the short term. So that's something we'll still watch out for. When it comes to Bank Nifty, it has paused today. What we are looking at is it moving higher towards around 56,577. So that's slightly what we call an extended Fibonacci level for this particular move. The support being closer to around 54,660. So that's pretty short term. It's not a lot of upside right now because we've seen a pretty one-sided move in banking for 6 consecutive days, and now we are pausing today. If this pause remains, I think we will limit the upside to 56,577 for the time being. Maybe expect some consolidation around that level before we go higher again over there. So we may cap it there, but what might happen between capping banking at that level and other sectors is you're starting to see participation now coming from various other sectors in the market. And what that does is that it creates rotation, something that we've all seen happen over and over again over the last several years now. And when you get rotation, then the main index, that is Nifty itself, can still continue to trend higher on the back of different sectors moving up. So while banking can come to a point where it pauses, you will get participation from other sectors that can drive Nifty higher. And so on Nifty, you'll still want to, trail your support and keep looking at, level to level, whether you can, move from one to the next.
So Rohit, interesting take on Nifty Bank that perhaps there is a breather that's coming in on Nifty Bank. Clearly, we have moved up for 6 consecutive sessions. A breather, and perhaps then we could see an up move coming in on Nifty Bank. But talk to us about the IT pack that's doing very well, and of course, that's on the back of HCL Tech, the results that have come out. But on the charts, do you expect the IT pack to hold on to these gains?
So there are two parts to it. One is, of course, holding on to the gains, and second is outperforming the market as a whole on a 6 and 12-month basis. So the IT sector does face slightly longer-term headwinds in terms of growth. There's no doubt about that. And that can cause underperformance on an investment basis. But you can't have a market that, goes up 10-15% and you don't have the IT sector participate. So in that sense, the rise of the IT sector is coming from an extremely oversold condition. Remember, the Nifty IT index went from 46,000 at the top to around 30,000 at the bottom. So that's a pretty steep cut that you've already seen, which prices in a lot of the negatives, and which is why any small little bit of good news or even a recovery in US markets, because they are highly correlated to US equities, can cause tech stocks to go up. So I think there is still near-term upside in the tech stocks. On the Nifty IT index, I would look at going to around 38,060 as the next resistance, where maybe it would pause. So surely there's some pending upside in the near term for IT stocks.
So exactly, that was my point, because Nifty has seen considerable drawdown. It is in the oversold territory. That is what I meant. Like, would it be a good, at this juncture, would it be good to add perhaps larger names, larger IT names, even though they're macro headwinds? But just on the back of the fact that we have seen considerable drawdown, we are in the oversold territory as far as Nifty IT is concerned. Is it about time to go long on Nifty IT?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's out of being oversold, but it's developed momentum. And because there's rotation, I think, and US markets may be starting to just recover from very oversold conditions. So that will all provide, good tailwinds for it to continue towards 38,000. So I think there is a case to add. In fact, today itself, if we close, let me give you a level. If we close above the 20-day average, which is at 34,926 on the Nifty IT index, that would be a positive sign because we would be doing that for the first time since the 28th of March. So that doing so would also be a sign that, yeah, you can actually start adding at these levels as well.
Rohit, hi, good morning. This is Shrishti also joining in. So definitely IT seemed to be making a comeback and so was financials a while back. But Rohit, also help us understand, how do you look at the auto pack right now? Because some of these stocks, be it M&M, Tata Motors, even some of the two-wheeler counters, they are seen to be scaling a comeback. Do you believe that it's a time to actually look into some of these names?
Yeah, surely autos have done well, and they were in fact, the last time we had a market correction in 2022, they actually outperformed. This time round, they've been one of the segments that has seen a very steep correction. But today, again, even in the auto index, if I draw a falling trend line from the top that we made on the 27th of September, then we are going past that level and closing above it. And that level as a support would be at around 21,837 on the Nifty Auto Index. So if we close above that, it is a breakout of the downtrend. So that sort of sets the stage for further gains going forward. I think that will also get aided by what we now know as the change in monetary policy in terms of interest rates, right? The auto sector is very sensitive to interest rate policy. And now that we are talking of an accommodative policy stance, it sort of ends up being positive for the auto sector.
All right, so let's watch out for that. But Rohit, with this, we let you go on that note. Thank you so much for taking the time out and sharing your view on the markets and also talking about the sectors that you're looking at this point in time. But